Sometimes when I say a prayer, I wonder, even as the words are coming out of my mouth, whether that plea will be heard or answered. Let me ask you something. Have you ever experienced the miracle of knowing that somehow you were instrumental in answering a prayer for someone else? Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, honored guests and dignitaries. In 2008, when I worked for IBM, I traveled from central New Jersey to Hartford, Connecticut once a week. That's a 4-hour ride via Amtrak. Imagine the train platform, a hot, sticky East Coast July afternoon. My deodorant had long since worn off, my straight hair had gone frizzy, sweat was dripping into my eyes. I was lugging a suitcase in one hand and my laptop on the other shoulder. And that laptop felt like it weighed 1,000 pounds. I said a pretty crummy prayer of my own. God, is a little rain too much to ask for? Finally, we were on our way. I fell into a dreamless sleep. What woke me was the conductor's voice saying, "Hartford, station stop, Hartford, Connecticut." 5 of us stood by the door, bags in hand. We were all women in our mid-40s. I noticed that we stood in silence as the train rocked back and forth to a stop. And one woman, a petite blonde, was staring off into space with tears in her eyes. As tired as I was, I still had to ask. I put my hand on her shoulder and I said, "Excuse me, are you okay?" And to my surprise, she said, "No, I'm not. I lost my mama and we buried her today." I kept my hand on her shoulder and I said with a lump in my throat, "This August will be 5 years since I lost my mother. I wish I could tell you it gets easier, but I still miss her every single day." The woman to my right had tears streaming down her face. She said, "My mom died 3 years ago, and I still reach to pick up the phone." Then the woman across from me said, "I lost my mother 1.5 years ago, and some days I still can't believe she's gone." The last woman said, "My mom died last year, and me and my sisters still cry and talk about it all the time." Just then the conductor came barreling in, "Hartford, station stop, Hartford." And he could see right away that something was going on. We were all standing there with tear-streaked faces and sniffling noses. He asked if we were okay. I explained to him that the one woman had lost her mother and that we were trying to comfort her. As he helped us off the train, he said, "My mom died 1.5 years ago. I still can't believe it." As the 6 of us were standing near the train platform, the blonde woman said, "You know, a few hours ago when I got on this train, I asked God to give me a sign that my mama was in a better place and that I wasn't alone." I said, "Is this enough of a sign for you?" That we all lost our moms, all were on the same train, all got off at the same station, and even the conductor lost his mother? She looked at us in wonder and said, "God really did answer my prayer. I'm not alone." It was then that I realized that if I hadn't spoken up on that train, that woman would have gone about her night feeling isolated and abandoned, and as if God had not heard her prayer at all. It was all because I listened to that little voice inside me that I spoke up. I now know what the expression, "the Spirit moved me," means. It made me brave enough to speak up on that train. I'm honored to have been a catalyst in a meaningful way to that poor suffering woman whose name I never did know. I've had so many prayers of my own answered, too numerous to count. But I cannot recall a time when I have been so obviously part of the answer to someone else's prayer. If there's a moral to the story, it's this. The next time you feel the Spirit move you, the next time you feel an inner nudge, that little voice saying, speak up, act out, make that phone call, do something, I want you to act on it. You might be the answer to someone else's prayer. After my experience on that train, I have no doubt that God is up there doing his thing, and we need to remember to let him use us. On the brief walk from the train station to my hotel, as I was pondering the magnitude of this miracle I had just experienced, the sky ripped open with a bolt of lightning, deafened me with thunder, and in 3 seconds, I was soaked to the skin with rain. Madam Toastmaster.